GM Web3 friends, we have an interesting session here where we unravel the fascinating world of account abstraction. I'm your host Akshay, and today we have the privilege of sitting down with Partha, the visionary co-founder of Kanalabs. The goal of the video series is to educate Web3 folks and explore account abstraction in a way that caters to both non-technical individuals and technical developers alike. So whether you're a Web3 user seeking a deeper understanding or a developer eager to grasp the intricacies, this video series is for you. Please note that this is a three-part video series where we help both technical and non-technical folks to understand account abstraction better. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it and welcome our guru. Welcome, Partha, to the session. Let's start the conversation by asking what was so interesting about account abstraction that you felt you had to drop everything and start working?
I've been involved with the Ethereum space since late 2016 and 2017. And believe me, at that time, even for developers, there was a learning curve. I've been involved building stuff on Ethereum, building out a wallet, a mobile based wallet, and other things back in 2017. What we consistently noticed is that it required some kind of a learning for an end user to get onboarded to it. The ecosystem or Web3 as such was only for geeks. Even among developers, it was only for the geek
Yeah.
developers who are willing to explore and who didn't have an easy answer, say on Stack Overflow or anything else. You have to try out, break things in the process, and learn a lot along the way. So, account abstraction as a concept has pre-existed even Ethereum. In fact, Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum, wrote a paper about it back in 2015, where he said that account abstraction would become essential for easier onboarding of end users to a network. Talking about what I went through as a developer and as an end user since 2017 2018. In 2018 and late or early 2019, a concept of smart contract based wallets came into prominence. There again, it was not completely account abstraction, but it brought in a lot of improvement in user experience when compared to the old stuff. So, with smart contract based accounts, what you could achieve is that you would still need a key to control the wallet. However, if you lose access to the original key, you can probably gain back access to the old wallet using a concept called social recovery. Let's take a Web2 example. For example, you have an email account with Gmail. You lose access to your email, you've forgotten your password, you can request password reset.
Yeah.
Now that is possible in the case of Gmail or other email providers because there is a centralized service provider which has access to the backend system and they can reset password on your behalf. But in a
Yeah.
decentralized world like Web3, you cannot expect that to happen because nobody owns it. So the onus is completely on the individual having access to it. And if that individual, it's too much of an ask for say a grandmother or a grandfather to remember all these stuff and start using things.
Yep.
So account abstraction comes in between here to facilitate and make it easier even for novice users to probably recover certain things in case they are lost. They end up losing. So this facility was there, and then you also have the ability to set certain limits under each account. So in the case of say EOA, that is your key-based wallets earlier, there is no security inbuilt into the wallet. So once a person gets access to the key, they can transfer the entire amount completely, and you lose access. So with smart wallets, what you could do is you can add certain rules, like say, or daily I can only transfer 1,000 tokens or 1,000 USD worth of tokens out of the wallet, or uh, what do you say, for any further action I need multiple signatures. I can have a joint custody account. So these are additional abilities that smart wallets provide you, which was not available in the earlier phase. Now, when you do something like this, there creeps in a bit of centralization. The challenge in account abstraction is to provide these additional benefits without centralizing the account abstraction bit. So this is where the new proposal from Ethereum called EIP 4337 introduces a concept where you retain the decentralized nature of the Ethereum network, at the same time try to achieve account abstraction. So every operation that you do, so in case the company that's offering this account abstraction solution disappears in future, the end user is in no way affected. You still have access to the account, and you can retain or access, get back the funds that you hold there, and nobody can censor you in any way. My work on in the account abstraction space for the past years has been trying to make this feature more decentralized, and that's something I enjoy doing. Decentralization is something that I'm very passionate about, and I'd like to contribute to that. So that's how I got involved in this work.
Awesome. I love the fact that you touched upon a few key points, which will go deep in our conversation further. But this definitely gives a much needed context on what account abstraction is. Partha, you spoke about the problem with signing multiple transactions and security issues. It will be great if you could give some real life examples on the same. Because I've spoken to a few folks in the Web3 ecosystem, even though they understand somewhat on what account abstraction is, they don't see real applications or use cases to support them. So if you could give some examples, that would be wonderful.
One of the first things a person does after getting a cryptocurrency is, say, what they do, they try to swap it on a decentralized exchange like Uniswap or SushiSwap, or they might go to OpenSea or Blur and maybe mint an NFT or purchase an NFT. So if you follow this user journey, the first thing you would need, say, is to identify the network on which you're trying to do the operation. To the end user, it's pretty complex. So let's take the example. If I want to use Twitter, all I do is log into Twitter, go post something. And if I want to post something on Facebook, I log into Facebook and post something or read something. You don't tell the user, hey, if you're using Twitter, you have to switch your database to MySQL, and then only then you can go and change. Now, say if you're using, say, Facebook, then no, you have to use MongoDB. Only then it will work. But if it's the same kind of setup, but when on Web3, you are expecting a lot from the end user. The end user is bombarded with overwhelming amount of information, and they get confused what to do. So as a first operation, so first you if you say go into Uniswap and try to do a swap, say you have, say, USDC token, you wish to swap it to, say, some other token, say, I don't know, for a DAI or something like that. What first Uniswap expects you to do is to have the native token to pay for the gas for the swap. Now, depending on which network you're connecting to, you need to have the appropriate gas token. So if it's Ethereum, you need to have ETH. If it's on Matic, that is Polygon, you need to have Matic token, all that. The other thing is, when you do this operation, it will first say you need to approve the swap of USDC to the router contract. So you will sign once, and then you do another one for the actual swap operation. And once
Mhm,
you do that, you get back the account, the swap token to your wallet address.
mhm,
This is a very poor user experience, right? You keep clicking. After a while, the user will get frustrated. Sometimes the approval fail and you won't get. Now,
mhm.
what account abstraction or smart contract based wallets help you with this? You can bundle these transactions together. Approval and swap all together will be a single transaction. You pop up that signature request to the user only once, and the entire operation can be completed as a single click operation. The other
Okay.
advantage is you don't need to hold Ethereum or Matic gas token in order to perform. So what I can do is I'll use my card, directly top up my wallet with USDC or any other stable coin, and I can immediately start transacting. I don't need to buy Ethereum on the particular network in order for me to do the swap. The other advantage, I can do multiple swaps at a single time. So I say I have 40 USDC in my wallet. I can split it into three separate transactions. First 10 USDC, I can swap it to say DAI. Next 10 USDC, I will add it to a liquidity pool, split it into two separate tokens. The third one I can use to mint an NFT. I can do all of these operations and execute it as a single transaction.
Yeah.
So you will only be signing the request once. The user achieves all of this as a single operation. So this is a functionality or feature that smart contract based wallets provide you with, which you cannot expect in EOAs.
A follow-up question will be, your points covered mostly the user experience advantage a smart wallet offers. But are there any other key differences between a key-based wallet and a smart wallet that will be helpful?
In the case of EOA, it's like you hold the entire responsibility of the wallet. You are the weakest link, right? So the end user, if the end user does not have a concept of security or does not believe in, there have been people who used to store private keys in Gmail. That's happened.
Yeah.
They used to store it
Yeah.
as a plain text in their Google Drive or on their machines. And if any of these get hacked, you lose access to your friend. But account abstraction takes this into account and tries to minimize the damage in case such a thing happens. So you can configure your account to have a 2FA authentication. So for like in the case of banks, so every time you transact on a bank, it could send you a text, and although text based authentication is not good, but that's at least something that is available where you enter the the 2FA that you received on your text message and authenticate the transaction. You can achieve the same thing using account abstraction, where you set up a separate notification that you have to receive in case you perform. So these are advantages that account abstraction provides you. The other, as I was explaining earlier, is social recovery. If you lose access to your wallet, you contact your friends or peers. They in real life, they will talk to you over phone or email or in person, uh, confirm whether the request actually came from you. If so, they submit a transaction on chain, and a new wallet address is generated for you, and you get access to your old smart contract based wallet. So these are additional security features that account abstraction provides you, which are not available with EOS.
Wonderful, Partha. We covered extensively on how users can benefit by adopting smart wallet or account abstraction. But let's talk from a developer's perspective. What are some challenges a developer might face when they want to get started with account abstraction?
One of the main challenges that people have, or developers as such have, when moving over to account abstraction from their from EOA based, most developers who start off or get onboarded to Ethereum or other blockchain based development are familiar with Ethers.js or Web3.js as the means to build, and they have to understand that smart contract based wallets are a separate wallet by itself. It's not the EOA that you start off with, and there is always a deployment cost associated with smart contract based wallets. When the deployment happens, is something that usually is during the first outgoing transaction, but they have to keep into account that smart wallets require deployment, and that cost is something which essentially becomes a barrier even for the end users during any implementation. So when the gas fee is say 100 GUI, and you expect an end user to deploy a smart wallet, a smart contract wallet on Ethereum, it could be very, very expensive, and people will be wondering, why should I be doing it when it's so expensive? So if you're building your own wallets, you have to consider or take into account how much will it cost for the end user to deploy this wallet and start using. So when you're building a solution, always keep that in mind, that smart wallets require deployment, although it's just one time, but it could still be significant on chains that are expensive. So that should be kept in mind whenever they build something. Don't enforce deployment when to a user who's just trying out the website. Only deploy the wallet during the first outgoing transaction. Then the user knows, okay, uh, because I have to perform this operation, there will be a one-time charge. That's something they should know. And yeah, the concept of two separate wallet addresses when they are accessing. One is the EOA that's used to control your smart wallet, and the other is the actual smart wallet. So that's something they have to be aware of. This is the first thing that comes to my mind, or rather, this most significant thing that a developer should consider when they start moving on to account abstraction based solutions.
Okay. One fundamental question that I have is the reliability on EOA. Uh, that's still a problem, right? The famous article of Vitalik on why we need social recovery goes in detail on why this is not the right solution for massive adoption of crypto. But with smart solutions, we still need EOA to make this a bit more functional. I'm a bit conflicted or a bit confused. So if you could just probably expand on that and give your thoughts on it, it will be great.
Again, this is something that is inherent only on EVM based chains. There are other chains like Near which has account abstraction inbuilt into it. So every account on Near is a smart wallet, a smart account by itself. The challenge on EVM is because it has become very difficult to obtain consensus amongst the core developers or core teams who are building these nodes to agree upon what do you say, a solution to ensure every wallet on Ethereum is a smart wallet. Um, because that requires some changes in the core underlying protocol. And the challenge really is that some of these algorithms have wider support on few languages. Ethereum has several nodes written in different languages. So not every language has this wider support, or there is a chances of vulnerability. So you cannot directly upgrade into a smart contract based wallet for everyone. That is why this new proposal, EIP 4337, takes an alternate route to first popularize the concept of smart wallets, where you have EOAs controlling the smart wallet address. But once you see a larger adoption of smart wallets as such, it becomes a craze. More people start to support it, more dApps start to support it, everything. Then slowly we can switch over to a completely inbuilt account abstraction based solution. That is why there has been a delay. So, as I've been saying, account abstraction as an idea or a concept has been available since 2016. There have been several implementations of account abstraction since 2017-18 as well. But not many people moved on to it, not many end users adopted it for various factors. One of the main factors being the cost associated with the first deployment, but that has now been solved with various L2s and alt L1s and everything into picture. So the cost associated with deployment is low, but still there is a need to educate end users a lot more. At the same time, the core teams who are building these infrastructure around Ethereum have to come to a consensus on which way they wish to proceed forward. So in the interim, this new alt mempool based account abstraction solution would probably drive more adoption. Once we get a lot of users using this, then I don't see any issues in convincing the core team to probably come to a consensus.
Great. The genesis of this video series was during my research for informative and non-tech documentation resource to learn account abstraction. Even if there were any, I was not able to find it a bit easily. Apart from our video series from Kanalabs that we are recording right now, what other resources would you recommend for our listeners to read about account abstraction?
There are a few GitHub repositories I've seen. I think there was one called Awesome Account Abstraction or something. I don't remember at the top of my head. That has a lot of resources about it. There's also a Telegram group dedicated to account abstraction called 4337 Mafia. Although it's specific to 4337, but there are a lot of account abstraction based discussions
Okay.
that are there. Yeah, you can always follow Kanalabs YouTube and our documentation. But yeah, and yeah, this is what I can think of at the top of my head.
This is great, Partha. Thank you for this. By the way, guys, we will add all the links and the resources that we find to be helpful to you guys in the description so that you can get started with it. Partha, we discussed a lot of use cases, and I can confidently say I know what account abstraction is. So we will close the first part of the video series with one question, which is account abstraction the tech for now, or is it an innovation that will be ready in the next 5 years?
There's a lot of work that's gone into account abstraction, and one of the thing I touched upon earlier is something that I've been involved with right now, and something I really like is maintaining the decentralization at the same time achieving account abstraction. So one thing I've been working on is the P2P interface in bundlers. Bundlers is a concept that is part that is described in the EIP 437 protocol. So what we are building right now is a P2P interface. So when a user submits a user operation to a specific bundler, we are writing a protocol that would propagate this user operation to other bundlers in the network. So even if a particular bundler is not a good actor, tries to what do you say, censor a particular user operation. For example, I don't like you, Akshay. I don't want to. I am a bundler. I don't like you. I don't want to process any operation that you send me. Uh, but the P2P interface will ensure that even if I stop or censor your transactions, other bundlers in the network can pick that up and submit it on chain. So that is an innovation or something that's happening right now. And I'd like to see that implemented as soon as it's ready. And I think once that's done, we'll have other challenges and things to solve as well.